the 2,000 years old philosophy that has empowered countless leaders and thinkers to transform adversity into strength and fear into opportunities. In this video, we'll dive into 12 powerful Stoic secrets for doing your best, showing you not just how to endure life's challenges, but how to thrive amidst them. Discover actionable strategies for resilience and fulfillment that are as relevant today as they were millennia ago. If you've ever felt overwhelmed or stuck, you're in exactly the right place to find your stride and convert challenges into opportunities. Stay tuned through the whole video. Each second is packed with insights that could be the game changer you've been searching for. Let's go. Number 1. Understanding your boundaries. Embracing personal growth. You see, Stoicism isn't just about handling life's hardships. It's about recognizing that we often limit ourselves with self-imposed barriers. The Stoics teach us to question everything that confines us, our fears, our doubts, and especially the limits we place on our own growth. It's about asking ourselves, why not? Why not push a little further, reach a little higher, or try something new even if it scares us? Think about Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, who was also a Roman emperor. He constantly challenged his own perceptions, focusing on personal development even while leading an empire. His meditations were full of questions and reflections that pushed the boundaries of his own thinking. He didn't just accept things as they were, he questioned his reactions and worked tirelessly to align them with his values. Now, applying this to our lives doesn't mean overhauling everything overnight. It's about small, consistent challenges to our usual ways of thinking and being. Each time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," pause and think about what's really stopping you. Is it a real limitation, or is it just fear of the unknown? What if you replaced "I can't" with "I'll try"? That shift in language is powerful. It opens up possibilities, and it's deeply rooted in Stoic practice. The Stoics believed in the power of self-awareness and disciplined personal growth. They weren't content to live unexamined lives. They embraced challenges because they knew that growth came from discomfort. So, when you encounter your next challenge, think of it as a Stoic would. An opportunity to test your boundaries, expand your capabilities, and grow stronger in the face of adversity. Remember, every giant leap in personal growth begins with a simple question: why not? So, let's keep pushing, keep questioning, and let our Stoic insights guide us to stretch beyond these artificial limits we've set for ourselves. As we do this, we truly embrace the Stoic way, constantly evolving, learning, and growing into the very best versions of ourselves. Number 2. Continuous self-improvement. Becoming a procopton. Isn't it fascinating how we are all works in progress, constantly evolving and growing? That's the essence of becoming a procopton, a term from Stoicism which literally means one who makes progress. This concept is at the heart of the Stoic journey towards continuous self-improvement. It's about embracing the idea that we're never quite finished with our personal development. There's always room to become better, wiser, and more aligned with our virtues. Imagine waking up each day with the purpose of being just a little better than you were the day before. It could be improving how you respond to stress, being more present with your family, or taking steps toward your professional goals. The key here is consistency, not perfection. The Stoics didn't expect to become perfect overnight, and neither should we. What they aimed for was persistent, incremental progress. Now let's talk about Epictetus, another towering figure in Stoicism. He was once a slave and later became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers. His life itself is a testament to the power of personal growth. Epictetus taught that our true education starts the moment we realize that we are in control of our responses. Every challenge, every interaction is an opportunity to practice our virtues and refine our character. It's like every day is a new chapter in the textbook of our lives, and we get to write it. So how do we apply this to our everyday lives? It starts with setting clear, manageable goals for ourselves. Maybe it's deciding to read a little each night to expand your knowledge, or choosing to handle disagreements with more calm and less anger. Each small choice is a step towards becoming a better version of yourself. And just like the Stoics, we focus on what we can control: our actions, our responses, our willingness to learn and adapt. Remember, being a Procopton is not about judging yourself harshly or feeling like you're not enough. Instead, it's about recognizing that you are a work in progress, and that's a beautiful thing. It's about giving yourself the grace to grow and the courage to continue, even when the going gets tough. Every effort you make in the right direction enriches your character and brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. Number 3. Commit fully to what you do. Virtue and dedication. You know, there's something truly remarkable about pouring your heart and soul into what you do. Whether it's your job, a hobby, or even a relationship, giving it your all can make a profound difference. This wholehearted dedication is what Stoicism champions through its focus on virtue and commitment. In Stoicism, the emphasis is always on doing things with virtue. That means acting with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, no matter the task at hand. Imagine handling every aspect of your day with these virtues as your guiding stars. It transforms the mundane into something deeply meaningful. It's about making everything you do matter, not just for the outcomes, but for the value of the experience itself. Take, for example, the Stoic philosopher Seneca. He was an advisor to an emperor, a dramatist, and a thinker, and he approached every role with a full commitment to virtue. For Seneca, and for us too, this isn't about perfection, but about intention. It's about striving to bring your best self to every action, no matter how small or routine it might seem. When you commit fully to your activities, you're not just going through the motions, you're infusing them with purpose and passion. This doesn't mean stressing over perfection or outcomes, as we often do. Instead, it's about being present and engaged, putting in the effort because it's the right thing to do, not just because of what you might get out of it. Let's think about how this applies in our daily lives. Say you're working on a project at work. Instead of just ticking off tasks to get it done, you approach each task with attention and care, considering how best to align your actions with your values. Or when you're with family, you're fully there, not distracted or half-hearted. This kind of dedication is liberating because it shifts your focus from the worry of what will I achieve to the fulfillment of what will I contribute. It's a subtle shift, but a powerful one. The Stoics believe that our true worth comes from how we do what we do, not just what we accomplish. And here's the kicker. When you commit with all your heart, the quality of your work and your interactions naturally improves. You'll find that you start to attract respect and recognition naturally, not because you sought it out, but because you've made your work inherently valuable. Let's commit to our tasks with virtue and dedication, not for accolades or external validation, but because this is the path to a truly fulfilling and meaningful life. It's about making the choice every day to live fully, act thoughtfully, and love generously. Number 4. Living with purpose and integrity. Stay true to your path. Now, think about a compass. Even in the stormiest of seas, it provides a sailor with direction. Similarly, your values and principles give you direction when you face life's inevitable challenges and distractions. Whether it's pressure at work, conflicts in personal relationships, or simply the chaos of everyday life, staying true to your path means consistently choosing actions that reflect who you are and who you aspire to be. Let's bring in the Stoic heavyweight Marcus Aurelius again. As an emperor, he faced enormous pressures and temptations, yet he remained steadfastly committed to living according to Stoic virtues. He wrote extensively in his Meditations about the importance of staying focused on his own actions and responsibilities and not being swayed by external circumstances or opinions. This wasn't just about holding power, it was about wielding it with wisdom and justice. Applying this to our lives today might seem daunting, but it's incredibly rewarding. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult choice at work, staying true to your path means making that choice based on integrity rather than convenience or personal gain. It means being honest with yourself about why you're making the decisions you make and constantly checking if they align with your long-term goals and values. Staying on your path also means being mindful of the little choices you make every day, because they add up. It's about not compromising on the small stuff, knowing that it sets the precedent for the big stuff. This could be as simple as choosing not to participate in gossip, committing to your promises, or standing up for someone when it's the right thing to do, even if it's not the easy thing. Staying true to your path isn't always about the grand gestures. It's often in the quiet moments of choice that we truly define ourselves. It's in these moments that we either strengthen our commitment to our path or stray from it. And here's the beautiful part: every day gives us a new chance to choose. The Stoics embraced this as part of their daily practice, examining their actions each night to ensure they were in alignment with their principles. So, let's challenge ourselves to live with purpose and integrity. Let's make our choices reflections of our deepest values, and when we falter, as we inevitably will, let's use it as a stepping stone to come back stronger and more aligned. Number 5. Embracing the journey, the freedom of letting go. Isn't it liberating to think about just enjoying the ride without constantly worrying about the destination? That's what Stoicism teaches us about letting go, embracing the journey and finding true freedom in the process. This concept isn't just about detachment in a passive sense. It's about actively engaging with life's experiences while releasing our grip on the outcomes, which, as Stoics believe, are not entirely within our control. Let's dive deeper into this. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to handle life's twists and turns with a stiff upper lip, but to appreciate the beauty of the unfolding process itself. It's like planting a garden. You prepare the soil, you plant the seeds, you water them, but ultimately, whether those plants bloom perfectly isn't up to you. There are factors beyond your control: the weather, pests, or other natural elements. So should you fret over every potential issue, or should you do your best and accept the rest? Stoicism votes for the latter. Think about how often we fixate on outcomes. Whether it's a job promotion, a personal project, or even a relationship, we sometimes put so much emphasis on the result that we miss out on the joy of the journey. We forget to celebrate the small victories, the simple pleasures, and the lessons learned along the way. But what if we shifted our focus? What if we poured our hearts into our endeavors, gave our best, and then let go, trusting that whatever happens, we can handle the outcome? This Stoic principle is beautifully exemplified by the philosopher Epictetus, who taught that freedom and happiness are achieved by understanding what is in our control and what isn't. Our efforts and intentions, those are ours to command. The final outcomes? Often they're not. By internalizing this, we can free ourselves from a lot of unnecessary stress and disappointment. Now, embracing the journey means more than just being okay with not knowing the outcome. It means truly finding peace in the midst of uncertainty. It means waking up each day with a sense of curiosity and wonder, ready to give your all, without the heavy burden of needing specific results. This approach doesn't just alleviate pressure, it enriches your life. When you're not tethered to expectations, every day presents a new canvas, ready for you to paint with bold, vibrant colors of effort, learning, and growth. So, how do we practice this? Start by focusing more on your daily actions and less on the long-term results. Celebrate the act of doing rather than the end product. Did you learn something new? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you make a positive impact? These are the questions that align with Stoic thinking. Letting go and trusting the process might sound challenging, especially in a society that prizes outcomes above all else. But remember, Stoicism is about strength and resilience, about finding freedom by mastering what we can control and letting go of what we can't. Number 6. Reflecting your best self, the virtue mirror. Isn't it interesting how we often become what we constantly see, think, or do? Stoicism teaches us a fascinating concept. We're like mirrors reflecting back not just what we project to the world, but also what we internally cultivate. This idea of being a virtue mirror is all about embodying the traits we wish to see in our environment and relationships. It's a powerful way to understand that our external life can often be a reflection of our inner state. Imagine this. If you fill your days with negativity, fear, or bitterness, those are the energies you're likely to attract and reflect back into your life. But if you choose to cultivate qualities like kindness, resilience, and integrity, you'll notice these very virtues starting to flourish around you. This isn't just poetic, it's practical Stoicism. The Stoics believed that focusing on developing a strong, virtuous character was essential because this is the part of ourselves that we truly control and which determines the quality of our lives. Let's consider the Stoic philosopher, Seneca. He wrote extensively about the importance of aligning daily actions with virtuous principles. He suggested that the way we choose to live each day, how we interact with others, and how we handle our emotions are all reflections of our inner state. By striving to improve ourselves, by choosing virtues over vices, we not only enhance our lives, but also set a positive example for others to follow. Applying this in our everyday lives, think about the small interactions and decisions you make. Each of these is an opportunity to reflect a virtue. For instance, when faced with a difficult situation, showing patience and understanding rather than irritation or anger can influence not only the outcome, but also how others perceive and interact with you. Over time, these choices build up, creating a life that's reflective of the best parts of you. And it's not just about big gestures, it's the everyday moments that really count. Every time you choose to act with integrity, even in small matters, you reinforce that quality in yourself and encourage it in others. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond. The ripples spread far and wide. This is the essence of living as a virtue mirror. So how do we ensure that we reflect our best selves? Start by cultivating self-awareness. Regularly take stock of your thoughts and feelings and ask yourself if they align with the virtues you value. Practice mindfulness to stay present and make conscious choices rather than reacting on autopilot. And importantly, remember that this is a process. Just like a mirror gets tarnished and needs cleaning, our ability to reflect virtues can be obscured by stress, fatigue, or emotional upheaval. Regular reflection, self-care, and realignment are key. Embracing this Stoic approach doesn't just change how we see ourselves, it transforms how we interact with the world. By being conscious of the virtues we wish to embody and reflecting them in our daily actions, we not only improve our own lives, but potentially inspire and uplift those around us. Let's strive to be mirrors that reflect wisdom, courage, and kindness. Number 7. Overcoming challenges, using obstacles for growth. Ever noticed how often we view challenges as setbacks when they could actually be stepping stones? This is where Stoicism really shines, transforming our perspective on obstacles from mere hindrances to opportunities for personal growth. Stoics don't just endure challenges, they embrace them, seeing each one as a chance to strengthen virtues and deepen wisdom. Think about it. Each challenge you face is like a personal trainer for your character. Just as lifting weights builds physical muscle, navigating obstacles builds resilience, patience, and fortitude. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This encapsulates the Stoic approach to challenges: focus on your responses and use adversity as a catalyst for growth. Let's break this down a bit. When you encounter a tough situation, it's natural to feel frustrated or overwhelmed. But what if, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can this teach me?" This simple shift in questioning can change your entire approach. It's not about finding immediate solutions, but about seeking the growth that comes from the experience. What virtues can this situation help develop? Perhaps patience as you navigate a slow bureaucratic process, or courage as you face a fear. Now let's take the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius as an example. He faced wars, plagues, and political intrigue, yet he saw these difficulties as opportunities to practice his Stoic principles. He wrote in his Meditations about the importance of facing each day as a battle to be won through virtue. Each challenge was a chance to reaffirm his commitment to Stoic ideals. Applying this to our lives today, when challenges arise, we can take a moment to pause and reflect. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can respond with intention. This might mean taking a deep breath when you're irritated, choosing to proceed with kindness instead of anger, or deciding to step up when you feel like stepping back. These are the moments that define our growth. And remember, overcoming challenges isn't about never failing or not feeling doubt. It's about resilience, bouncing back stronger every time. It's about knowing that growth often comes dressed in the guise of failure. Each setback is a lesson, each obstacle a quiz, each hardship a class in the school of life. The more we learn to face these with Stoic resolve, the more equipped we are to lead fulfilled and meaningful lives. Number 8. Small actions, big differences, doing what you can. Let's consider the idea of a single act of kindness, like smiling at a stranger or helping a neighbor. These actions might seem small, but their ripple effects can be enormous. You never know how much someone might need that smile, or how much that small help could ease someone's day. The Stoics believed in the power of living according to virtue in every moment, not just when it's easy or big, but especially in the mundane and small. This is because in Stoicism, virtue isn't just a big abstract idea. It's very practical and grounded in everyday actions. Imagine if every day each of us did just one small thing aligned with our best selves. This could be as simple as choosing not to lose your temper in traffic, taking the time to really listen when someone talks to you, or picking up litter you pass on the street. These acts contribute to a greater good. Cultivating a character aligned with Stoic virtues like temperance, justice, and kindness. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized that we control our actions and attitudes. He urged his students to focus on their own behavior, regardless of how small their sphere of influence might seem. He taught that true fulfillment comes not from the scale of your actions, but from their integrity. So, how do we put this into practice? It starts by recognizing the value of each moment and each choice. Instead of getting overwhelmed by the enormity of life's challenges, ask yourself, what can I do right now? It could be making a more environmentally conscious choice, or deciding to spend 10 more minutes playing with your kids, or even just choosing to stay calm under pressure. And remember, it's about persistence. Consistency in these small actions leads to big changes over time, not just in the world around us, but in use as well. Each small act is like a thread in a larger tapestry, and while one thread might not seem like much, together they create a beautiful and cohesive picture. This Stoic approach also helps keep us grounded and centered. It reminds us that while we might not be able to do everything, we can always do something. And in doing what we can, we live out the Stoic ideals of making rational, virtuous choices. It's about doing the right thing because it aligns with our core principles, not because we're seeking reward or recognition. Number 9. What really matters? Virtues before vanity. Ever found yourself caught up in the chase for the latest trends, status symbols, or the next big thing that everyone seems to value? It's pretty easy to get swept up in the rush, isn't it? But here's a Stoic perspective that might make you pause and rethink. What if the real treasures in life aren't things we can show off, but the virtues we hold deep within? Stoicism teaches us to prioritize virtues over vanity, to focus on what really matters, qualities like integrity, courage, and wisdom. Let's talk about this a bit more. Stoicism isn't about dismissing success or enjoyment. It's about redefining what success means. Instead of measuring success by our bank accounts, job titles, or social media likes, Stoicism asks us to look inward. Are we developing patience? Are we acting with kindness? Are we maintaining our composure in challenging situations? These are the markers of true success in a Stoic's eyes. Think about Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. Despite his immense power and wealth, he consistently emphasized the importance of self-discipline, ethical living, and humility in his writings. He knew that the trappings of power were temporary, and that true worth came from one's character. He wrote in his Meditations about the importance of ignoring the applause and doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Applying this to our modern lives, it means taking a hard look at our values. When making decisions, whether they're about career moves, personal relationships, or even daily habits, ask yourself, am I choosing this path because it looks good, or because it aligns with my core values? Am I pursuing this goal for external validation, or because it genuinely fulfills me? Now, let's break it down into daily practice. It starts with small decisions. Choose to spend time on things that enrich you, not just things that are impressive. Read a book that challenges you instead of browsing through another endless social media feed. Engage in a community service, not for the photo op, but for the genuine connection and the real difference you can make. This Stoic shift doesn't mean you won't ever care about external achievements or stop enjoying them. Instead, it puts those achievements into perspective. It means you value them as byproducts of living virtuously, not as the main goals of life. The real joy comes from knowing that you're living with integrity and purpose. And here's the really cool part. When you focus on building your virtues rather than your vanity, you start to attract people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic self. You create a life that's not just successful in the traditional sense, but profoundly meaningful. Let's measure our lives by the virtues we cultivate and the wisdom we gain. Let's strive to be remembered, not just for what we had, but for who we were and how we lived. After all, in the grand narrative of life, these are the elements that really matter. That's the Stoic way, simple yet profoundly transformative. Number 10. Authentic. Over popular. Choosing real over approval. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardship. It's about living according to your true nature and principles, regardless of external pressures. This philosophy encourages us to look inward and focus on what makes us genuinely who we are, our values, our beliefs, and our actions. It's about being real, not just appearing successful or likable. Think about the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature. This doesn't mean going off-grid and living in the woods, unless that's your thing, of course. It means aligning your life with your true nature and the universal virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, this alignment was key to peace and fulfillment. They believed that the only true failure was failing to live up to your own standards and principles. Let's break this down into everyday life. It's about making choices that reflect your true self, not just what's expected or what's popular. For example, choosing a career path that matches your passion and skills, even if it's less prestigious or lucrative than others. It's about voicing your true opinions in a discussion, even if they might not be the most popular. It's about maintaining your values, even when they're not the easiest or most convenient path. Choosing authenticity means accepting that not everyone will like or agree with you, and that's okay. The Stoics taught that our need for external approval is a trap. It makes us slaves to others' opinions and diminishes our own inner strength and freedom. Instead, they championed self-sufficiency, resilience, and personal integrity. So how do we practice being authentic over being popular? Start by knowing yourself. Reflect on what you truly value and what brings you genuine satisfaction, not just immediate gratification or applause. Then strive to make decisions that align with these values. It might mean setting boundaries, saying no to things that don't serve your genuine interests, or pursuing a path that feels right to you, even if it's less traveled. Remember, every time you choose authenticity, you strengthen your character. You become more confident in who you are and less dependent on others' validation. This doesn't just improve your self-respect. It also attracts people and opportunities that align with your authentic self. People respect and trust those who are genuine and consistent in their values. Number 11. The power of no, setting boundaries. Have you ever said yes when every fiber of your being was screaming no? It's a common experience, but here's where Stoicism offers a powerful tool: the power of saying no. Saying no isn't just about rejecting something you don't want to do. It's about affirming your own values, priorities, and boundaries. It's about taking control of your life and making space for what truly matters to you. In Stoicism, the concept of self-control and autonomy is central. The Stoics teach us that freedom comes from within, through mastery over our choices and actions. When you say no to things that don't align with your values or that don't serve your greater goals, you are actually exercising a profound form of freedom. You are choosing not to be swayed by external pressures or fleeting emotions. Think about Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers. He wrote a lot about the shortness of life and the importance of spending our time wisely. From a Stoic viewpoint, every time you say yes to something that isn't truly important, you're saying no to something that is. Every unnecessary commitment you take on is time taken away from your essential goals and personal well-being. Let's put this into perspective with a simple example. Imagine you're already overwhelmed with work and personal responsibilities, and a friend asks you to help with a project. You want to help, but you know that saying yes would mean sacrificing your only free time, leading to burnout. The Stoic action here isn't just to think about what saying no would mean for this one instance, but to consider the larger impact on your well-being and other responsibilities. It's about understanding the importance of your own mental and emotional health and protecting it. Now, Saying no can be tough, especially if you're used to pleasing others. But here's how you can start practicing this Stoic skill. 1. Reflect before you respond. Don't say yes automatically. Take a moment to consider whether the request aligns with your priorities and values. 2. Be clear and firm. When you say no, be direct and assertive. You don't need to offer a lengthy explanation. A simple, "I can't commit to this right now," is often enough. 3. Practice self-respect. Remember that saying no is a way to honor your needs and limits. It's not selfish, it's necessary for maintaining your integrity and your well-being. 4. Rehearse if needed. If you find it difficult to say no, practice what you might say in advance. Being prepared can make it easier to say no when the time comes. By embracing the power of no, you not only free up your time and energy, but also strengthen your sense of self-worth and agency. Number 12. Letting go with indifference, finding inner peace. Stoicism teaches us that the path to inner peace is through understanding the difference between what is within our control and what isn't. The things we can control include our own actions, decisions, and responses. Everything else, the weather, traffic, other people's actions, are beyond our direct control and therefore should be met with a calm indifference. Think about this. When you're caught in a traffic jam and you start to feel that frustration bubble up, ask yourself, is my getting upset going to clear the traffic? Of course not. That's where Stoic indifference comes in. It's not about not caring about things. It's about selectively investing your care and emotional energy in areas where you can actually make a difference. Let's look at how Marcus Aurelius handled stress and pressure. Even as an emperor faced with endless duties and crises, he practiced this Stoic detachment daily. He focused on his responses and actions, which he could control, and maintained equanimity towards everything else. This wasn't about disengagement, but about empowering himself to act effectively where he could and not be overwhelmed by the rest. How can we apply this in our everyday lives? It starts with a simple yet powerful shift in perspective. Each time you find yourself worrying or getting upset over something, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, try to let go of that worry. This doesn't happen overnight, of course. It takes practice like any other skill. Here are a few practical steps to help cultivate this Stoic indifference. 1. Practice mindfulness. Being aware of your thoughts and feelings helps you catch those moments when you're getting caught up in things you can't control. 2. Challenge your reactions. Ask yourself why you're reacting a certain way and whether your reaction is helpful or just causing more stress. 3. Redirect your focus. Shift your attention to something you can influence. This empowers you and reduces feelings of helplessness. 4. Visualize letting go. Imagine your worries like leaves floating down a river, drifting away from you. This can be a powerful mental exercise to foster detachment. By practicing these steps, you'll find that letting go becomes easier. You'll feel less burdened by things beyond your control, which leads to greater peace, clarity, and effectiveness in your actions. You start to live more in the present moment, enjoying life as it is, rather than how you think it should be. As we navigate through the waves of life, remember, embracing Stoicism isn't about silencing your emotions or denying your challenges. It's about empowering yourself to focus on what truly matters: your actions, your growth, and your peace. Let this philosophy light your path, not just in moments of struggle, but every single day as you strive to live with intention and integrity. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you're inspired to delve deeper into how these ancient teachings can transform modern lives, I invite you to watch one of the playlists on the screen. Together, let's continue to grow, learn, and find our center in the wisdom of Stoicism.